make sure that we herd the cats and bring them all in together, because everybody is working in this area right now. All of the services have some type of pilot going on. Many of the agencies have some type of pilot going on, and a lot of the agencies are coming to DISA to ask to work to see how that can take place. What I would call a cataclysmic confusion has taken place across the DoD. As I mentioned before, it does not matter what service that you go to, they are doing something in this area of mobility. We just finished the VTC with 24th Air Force in particular we are ahead of that time frame of where we want it to be with that. We need to have an enterprise-based cost model. Having propriety-focused capabilities in the enterprise are not cost-effective to us. We need your help in making sure that we have an effective and efficient cost model that we can take and use, and then turn it over to our users such that they can use a plethora of devices, and they can pick and choose what device works for them, what device fits in their environment, and what device fits in from their requirement, and be able to utilize it. But it needs to be cost effective. And so we need your help in getting us there, as well as bringing your capability into this environment as well. The cost model is important to us. Not only is the cost model important to us, we have already put out a couple of RFPs. We've had an industry day within DISA on what is going on in this area. I believe we had well over 100 participants from industry that were a part of that industry day. We have put RFIs on the streets for the mobile device manager that we need to work. If you recall the slide that I had on the unclassed side, we need to build into that mobile device manager and spiral develop that as well. We are not there yet. We need that type of capability for us to have multiple devices in the enterprise and use them securely. We need that type of mobile device manager. So we put those RFIs on the street. We will put more on the street, and we need your help in responding to those. Most importantly, I would